going on, lovers and the haters? The Valentine's Day has passed. And by the way, I've seen 2 videos where a young lady said Valentine's Day. So, it's Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day. And trust me, I still don't know how to spell Wednesday. So me talking about grammar or pronunciation or anything is insane. But just, it's Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's, but she said Valentine's Day. It was driving me nuts. I had to get that out. I had to express it, and here I am expressing it to all you fine folks. Yeah, so, Valentine's Day has passed. So, it's that Monday before, so everybody's just out of love, which is good. Everybody's all loved out, which I do like. But, man, I have never laughed so hard reading some of the anti-Valentine's Day posts. And I know I'm not usually, I don't usually focus on I don't want to say negative, but, definitely watching somebody explain why Valentine's Day is a silly thing because they do not have a partner is quite funny. I don't need no man. It's a stupid thing. I'm independent, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you could still be all those things and be in a relationship. And, you don't have to be, so angry about it, and then that's, to me, it's not as nearly as bad. Or the young guy, you know what? I'm just an asshole. So, what you see is what you get. I'm just an asshole, so... I'm an asshole, so that's why you text young females around 9 o'clock when you start to get lonely. Yeah, you're such an asshole and you're so independent. Oh my God, nothing's worse, than males and females with that bullshit. Sorry, I had to say it. But, it cannot almost comparatively be worse than the people who are oozing their love story out onto the social media platforms. But I think it's romantic. Sometimes I get a little thing. But, here's the thing. If it's a fairly new, maybe not new relationship or whatever, you could usually tell. People have been in a relationship a long time. They don't throw it out on social media. They've been together for so long. You know what I mean? They know each other really well. But it's like if you're the one sitting there oozing out all that love, out on, you can't believe you're with that person. You can't believe, dude, start to believe it. You don't have to say anything like that. Those are really heavy words, man. Those are heavy words. You can't believe that you're with that person. Dude, what are you talking about? You met him on Tinder. You know what I mean? You can't believe you're with that person. You met him on Facebook 3 years ago. They were in your DMs. There's like, hey, you look cute. You're like, hey, you look cute. You can't believe. Like, I could see if you ran into somebody and it's like, you had like a layover and you bumped into him at an airport and then you guys talked online and on the phone for 3 months. And then you went out on vacation in that town. So you bump into her again or talk to her again just so you could hang out. Like there's no real like love stories like that anymore. At least not the ones that I'm hearing. But, so that's what I'm saying. People, you got to stop with the, I can't believe we're together. And these heavy, heavy words and these heavy, sentences on love. It's like, I can believe it. I can believe why you guys are together. You know what I mean? I believe it. So, I hope you could believe it, because you're the one that's with the person. So Valentine's Day, just chill. I watched a lot of action and violent movies, History of Violence, which is really good. And I watched Eastern Promises, which was also really good. Same actor, same director, absolutely amazing. I told my little brother about it, and then he posted that he was like, he loves those movies. And I was like, dude, I showed you these movies years ago. So, not to take credit, but I'm going to take credit for your taste in movies because I'm older than you. You look at me like a wise old brother, maybe almost like an uncle. That sounds weird when you say it like that. Never mind. So, yeah. So, Valentine's Day, super chill, no chocolates, no roses. I did have chocolate-covered strawberries, and I did have a banging piece of cheesecake, which was nice. I super love cheesecake. People who don't love cheesecake, you guys, that'll be another one for hell yeah, hell no, is putting in cheesecake in there. Because it's weird. Like, you're like, I love cheesecake. And I love the texture. I love the taste. I love all of it. And then there's people who are like, I don't like the texture or the taste of cheesecake. And it's like, what do you like? You like peanut brittle? You probably like peanut brittle. Peanut brittle is disgusting. I don't understand how people like peanut brittle. Yeah, those are the people who don't like cheesecake. It's people who like peanut brittle. But I like wrinkle fruits too. Those of you, wrinkle fruits. I can't make an F with my fingers, but I can make a W. Wrinkle fruits. That's what we'll just go. Just go with the wrinkle fruits. So, talking about relationships, I guess we could just, we really should just get into Ben Knows Your Relationship. So, here we go. Red flag. He has a female best friend, or she has a male best friend. All right, let me weigh in on this. I've seen this interview and this question before. I believe it was the Steve Harvey show. He was talking about guys cannot be friends with females because it's just dudes waiting for the female to become available before they try to get with her, Now, here's my thing. I'll be honest with you guys. In the past, I've had plenty of female friends, but in the same time, I've also been with most, romantically, done love to some of those female friends at the time. They're not anymore, but I'm saying some of them. But I do have female friends that have not been romantically involved with. So, I think most of the time, I get why it's such a deal breaker. If you're a female with a ton of male friends, it almost it does send up a red flag because it's how well do you play ball with others? How well do you play ball with your own, with other females? And I feel like a lot of the times, they don't play well, with people who are just kind of, and I usually say, how many friends did the person have in general? So I usually think it's a red flag if they don't have a lot of friends. Now, and I don't mean a ton, but I mean if they don't have 4 or 5 friends, people that they can talk to, people that they can communicate with, I'm going to think it's a red flag. I'm going to think, but never mind. So if they have a ton of male friends, then it's all right, which one of these dudes is either trying to get with you, thinking about getting with you, have been with you, and then it's just kind of hey, we're kind of better at a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock time, hey, want to come over? You know what I mean? I feel like it's just that with those dudes just waiting for a text. If they're friends with you, chances are they're just waiting for a text where you're hey, you want to come over, have some champagne? Nobody's here. Netflix is primed. You're going to watch about 10 minutes of something before you guys are smooching, kissing, getting crazy. And then in the morning, you'll be oh my God, I shouldn't have done that with Andrew or whatever his name is. And then, back to you searching again. For me personally, I think male or female, vice versa, if they have nothing but male friends, if it's a chick and she has just a bunch of dudes and oh, my dude's my best friend, this guy's my best friend, I think it's a red flag. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to say it is definitely a red flag. You know what I mean? It's going up, to me, and that's just a natural inclination of what I would be looking for. It'd be red flag, it's up, sorry. So listen, I hope that helped, as far as how I would view it. It's a red flag. Is it going to be a deal breaker? No, because you don't know if they're going to ease up on that friendship once they meet the person that they want to meet. But it definitely is a red flag. If the question was, it's just a red flag, yeah, it's definitely a red flag. So let's look on Facebook. 75% of you said it's a red flag, and 25% of you said it wasn't. And let's look on the Instagrams. Instagram a little closer because it goes down in the DMs on Instagram. Red flag. 41% of you said yes, and 59% of you said hell nope. So, it was definitely closer that you all think is a red flag. So I agree with that. It's definitely a red flag. So I hope that helps. Oh, I do want to talk about something before we get into hell yeah or hell nah. It was a picture that was sent to me right after I reviewed and talked about the female onesie or the female bodysuit or whatever. Now, there's a picture of a male bodysuit that has been sent to me, and I got to be honest with you. I can't, I guess, I get what they're trying to convey in the picture, good for you, male, male onesies. But, there's one issue that I have, and if you're listening, you're not going to see what I'm talking about. But if you're on the YouTubes and you're taking a look, here, just take a look at this picture, and yeah, see it? Yeah. Where do they're really selling this onesie at the access point, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Your eyes go one spot on this onesie. This gentleman here, obviously, he's definitely a gentleman. You could definitely tell that is looks like he is smuggling something out the front of that onesie. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm still going to say I will kind of speak for the people on this. I'm going to say hell no on that onesie. That's a lot of pressure on the access point. I don't even understand how you can use it as a onesie, because there's a lot of pain, a lot of sensitive areas underneath there, a lot of tension underneath there. So I'm going to have to say a hell no on that onesie. And now we can move on to hell nah, hell yeah. So the first one, Werthers Originals. Oh, the OG candy, baby, the OG candy. So every old person that my dad introduced me to, like that my dad would introduce me to, had Werther's Originals on their person. And now these people are definitely dead now, because they are the elderly then. These people were like 80-something years old. My dad was like, look him in the eyes, shake his hand, give him respect. Like, I remember, like, that whole thing. And I did, and I was. And, partially is I wanted to give them respect. But the other part is that I didn't really get my ass kicked by my dad. And, so fear works. Fear definitely works. And I did respect them. But, so I remember this guy. He was like, it's good to meet you. He was one of those guys that are so old that his mouth stayed open. So, like this, you know what I mean? And I just remember, like, when he would talk, there was a lot of shaking and stuff, and that scared me as a kid. I understand what it is now. That's an issue or an ailment or whatever. But when I was a kid, I was scared. But I remember it was all well and good. He had these white and denim pinstripe pants. I remember him his wife telling us a story why he had buttons on his pants. He had buttons on his pockets, his side pockets, because shit would fall out of it all the time. He'd reach his hand in there, and things would fall out. Really important things, she said. I don't know what she meant by that, but she just said, which probably meant the Werther's Originals, because they are obviously important. So I remember him unsnapping the button on the side of his pants, and these weird denim white striped pants going down. I've never seen them since. And him giving me a warm Werther's Original. Yeah, this is where it's at. So it still hits in my head as something that's going to be banging. So listen, I'm going to go off on, I'm just going to say, hell yeah, I want that. I love Werther's Originals. Listen, you need to know that you're in my soul as a candy. I don't care if it's a big corporation who makes those candy. Probably should find out. Listen, I don't care. Make them. I love them. And on the Instagrams, 79% of you said hell yeah, and 21% of you said hell no, which clearly hasn't met any elderly people. Just keep in mind, those 21% will eventually become over to us on the hell yeah side. I'm sorry. Wait till you just meet some elderly person. They pull out one of those hard candies and be ready to go. This had to be explained to me, this next one, because I have no idea I didn't know what it meant. Multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing. That's fun. So multi-level marketing, some examples are Herbalife, Mary Kay, Avon, Monet. I think that's how you say that, Monat. I don't know how to say it. So listen, I searched on this one because I needed to know. I cannot find the distinction in the difference between multi-level marketing and pyramid schemes. I cannot find the difference. I read 3 articles, one of which was published last year, and then the other 2 were published in like 2015, that there is essentially no difference between pyramid schemes and multi-level marketing. So the idea is that the people on the top tiers, the CEO, the founder, and just a few individuals really absorb and take on a lot of the wealth on these types of multi-level marketing And here's the issue. I know so many people who do this. I know so many people, and it's usually people who message you on Facebook. They're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And you're like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in such a long time. It's really good to hear from you. How are you?" And they're like, "Man, I am just doing so great. Have you heard about Herbalife?" And you're like, "Oh no, you got me. You got me. No, you got me so good. I thought you cared. I really thought you cared about me, and like you really wanted to talk to me, and oh man." Or have you heard about Shakeology or whatever? And it just nails you. They get you so good, and you're like, "Oh shit." And yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. That's happened to me maybe like 5, 6 times, like really hook, line, and sinker. I had this one young lady. She was just flirting with me, and I was like super stoked. I was like, "Oh man, this girl's freaking beautiful," and I knew her from high school. And if she hears this, she knows exactly who I'm going to talk to. So, but anyway, I don't care. So she was like flirting with me, and this is great. And then she asked me if I like coffee, and at the time I didn't drink any coffee, but I said yeah because I just wanted to meet up with her. And so she's like, "Hey, why don't we just meet at Starbucks? It sounds great." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I at the time I've never even been to a Starbucks. I'm like, "Oh, I love Starbucks." I was totally lying to her, and so she meets me there. We start talking. We're having a real, she's laughing. She's having a really good time. And she goes she's like, "You're so funny, Ben. You're so funny. You shouldn't say that. Oh my God, you're so silly." So have you heard about Shakeology? Have you heard about that? You should have seen it. I was like, just like that noise, and I was just like, "Oh no!" And she pulled out of her laptop bag and put her laptop on the table, and then had these little packets, these like 3 free packets for me, and I was like, "Oh man, I've been had." So I listened to her spiel, and yeah, I just kind of bounced and I never talked to her. I just kind of said, she was like saying, "Hey, have you thought about it?" And I was like, "Oh God, no, please." She's like, "You can make a new revenue stream, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "I've been had too many times." So listen, multi-level marketers, you guys have left a bad taste in my mouth. And I did read that mostly the top 5% of the business, like which is usually the CEO, the people who run the executives, they make 95% of the money. So, yeah. So I'm going to say a big old hell nah. Big old hell nah for me. I've been duped too many times. And the people have spoken on Instagram. 93% said hell nah. And then, get this, on Facebook, 100% said hell nah. 100%. So, the next one, socks on while you're sleeping. Now, for me, I mean, some of the text messages and the DMs that I got about this was very interesting. And one of my buddies said, "I don't wear socks in my house because I have carpet and I need traction." Then he said, "I need traction." Know what I'm saying? I think what he means is during the act of doing love, he needs traction, so he does not wear socksies, so he's not sliding all over the place. It's so funny. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know." So you're killing me, bro. But listen, I don't wear socks while I sleep. I think it's like constricting. It's constricting, and I like rubbing my feet together. You know what I mean? A lot. I do this a lot. I'm like a cricket in bed. I just like constantly rubbing my feet together. I don't know. I don't know why. It just feels good. I do it in the morning. I do it at night. For me, even if it's cold, I don't like wearing socks. I don't like wearing socks to bed. It's just not my thing. So, I get it if you wanted to keep your feet warm. I got a DM from Christine. She said, "I just like, if it's in the winter, I like to keep my feet warm." Her tootsies, they get cold. So we have this one. We have 80% said hell nah. So listen, they all feel the same, constricting on the tootsies. That's not going to feel very good, and I agree with them. Now the next one, which is hot yoga. Now, in this picture, this is me and Jen, and yeah, this wasn't hot yoga, but we were doing the yogas that day. So I just figured you don't know what temperature it is in there. It's like probably like medium heat yoga, like average yoga. So my thing with hot yoga is I had a bad experience in hot yoga when I very first was training to be a PT. I remember I was invited to a yoga class. Now, I went to that yoga class very unprepared. I didn't even have a mat. I had to borrow a mat from one of a fellow yogi who told me, "Hey, bro, don't worry. I have a mat for you." I noticed that he had a mat, a towel, one of those Mexican blankets, and two, and he gave me one. He had the blocks. He had everything. He actually was also the person that was in front of me. So I didn't realize when I sat down, in child's pose, that we would be doing. I walked in and I really didn't even notice the heat at first because this is in the very beginning. You're not really moving around, and I didn't realize that it was a hot yoga class. So the temperature was like, I think like 90 degrees. So it was like 90 plus degrees, and they said it would get warmer as we went on. The temperature would rise in the room. And I had this sinking feeling that I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I was right. Because 10 minutes into that hot yoga class, I am just staring at frontwards. And this man who loaned me, this nice man who has loaned me the yoga mat, has loaned me. And you always have to play this game in yoga, in especially hot yoga, whatever, yoga. Do you want to be in the front of the class and be the one who everybody is looking at your bits, at your ass, at your legs, at your scrotes? Okay, your scrotes, okay. Or do you want to be in the back being the one looking at everybody's bits, legs, buns, and scrotes? My thing is I picked the back end, and, I'm a very expressive person, so I can't hide where I'm looking. So I have this sweaty, it's only been like 10, 15 minutes in, and he's got, a very form-fitting pants. He was really into yoga. He had these pants that were very tight, but made it of the stretchier material. This is way before people started even wearing those types of things. So this was quite odd to see. And it was just, he's curled up in a pretzel in front of me. I look up, and there it all is, sweaty, just all around where where his scrotes and bits is. And I was and he also, with the blanket he put behind him and the towel in front, because there was a puddle of sweat. So there was all these people making like these moats, these barriers in front of their mats to not let the sweat seep out into the universe. Namaste, not going into the universe. And then there's me in the back. I think I was wearing, a pair of And One shorts and a tank top. That said, "I'm your beast. I'm the beast. You're my bitch" on it, or something. I'm pretty sure that's what the shirt said. I remember correctly. And I was sweating so bad. And I remember the teacher, who was all the way in the front, he kept going. And so they'd say to do a pose. They'd be like, "All right, we're going to go into Warrior One, big deep breath." And then I watched his eyes meet my eyes, and he's like, "And it's okay to sit this out. It's okay just getting into child pose, and it's totally fine." And I'm just there like, I'm a warrior one. Dude, I was so drenched in sweat on somebody else's mat, dying. But still, with that being said, what am I talking about? Hell no to hot yoga. I mean, like, hell yeah. Like, I get it, but hell no, man. I'm not doing it. Let's just do normal yoga. Let's just do, like, normal room temperature yoga. So I'm going to definitely hell no hot yoga. Oh, man. You guys are killing me. So 60% said hell no. 60% said hell yeah on the Instagrams. Last but not least, the craft beers. Craft beers. So here's my thing. I used to be super into beer. Maybe not super into. I don't want to say that. I definitely would drink beer more than everything else. But listen, I feel that craft beer has been and kind of crossed over into that pretentious side, like with wine. You know what I mean? Like now you have these like these dudes and these chicks that are like, oh, I'm not going to have it if it's not an IPA or it has over, it needs to be using, grains of paradise or these hops that are from Ohio, or I don't know. I'm just saying, like, what are we doing here? Like what's happening? It's become this pretentious thing. And I think that craft beer, to me, and I'm a bourbon, whiskey, vodka, gin. I like hard alcohol. I'm a hard guy, bro. Freaking hard. You understand? I'm hard. All right? I like that type of stuff. I do not like beer. I think it just makes me feel bloated. It makes me feel gross. It just makes me feel farty. Is that a word? Yeah, it makes me feel farty. I feel farty. Is that kind of, yeah, I mean, I could say that, but I mean, like, are y'all are the people who don't like this, are they with me? Do you feel farty? Because I feel farty. And I have craft beer. It just makes me feel bloated. I don't feel good. And I remember I was not at my best. I definitely was not at my best when I was drinking craft beer, as far as body confidence wise, and being, this sexy man you see today in front of you. But I remember I'm drinking, we went to a brewery, and by the way, I've been saying brewery. It's brewery. Once again, I'm I know my language, but I've been saying brewery for like a long time because I'm an idiot. But I remember I went to one and I was just like, I'm just pounding beers. And I remember I felt like a bloated piece of garbage. And I remember right afterwards, I went to a pool party. And I remember just bloated, I'm like, I turned into that, that fat dad. It's like, no, I'm just going to keep my shirt on. I'm just going to, they're like, Ben, it's like 98 degrees. I'm like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to keep my shirt on, I was like trying to make up any excuse. Actually, I'm kind of cold, so I'm gonna keep my shirt on. It was just, I felt like dog shit. So I felt farty, guys. I felt farty. So I just don't think, for me, craft beers don't do my body any good. And I feel like a lot of the people who drink craft beer drink it to say they drink craft beer, not because they actually enjoy it. It's the same people that like to cook their steak and say like, oh, I like rare. I like 1 minute one side, 1 minute the other. It's like, no, dude, everybody likes medium rare. There's people who lie about loving rare steaks, and I'm sorry. I think medium rare is always the best way to go. I mean, well done, I think that is just a situation on itself. I mean, you definitely, hate yourself if you like a steak well done. But I also think it becomes this pretentious thing with craft beer. People are like, oh, you don't like IPAs, bro? You don't like Arrogant Bastard? You don't like, and that's another thing, the names. It's like, what's a one? You don't like, extreme hops. You don't like extreme hops, bro. It's like, and it just becomes like, you're like, no, it doesn't. It tastes like soap to me. I'm sorry. Just give me the, I'll take, some Knob Creek. Give me, just give me vodka. I was watching Eastern Promises yesterday, and he's drinking vodka. This Russian dude is just drinking vodka. I could just do that. I'd rather do that. Get a good vodka. I'll sip on that. I'm not even Russian, but I was like, that is what I would like to do with drinking, not this craft beer crap and feel farty in front of my Russian buddies. I don't want to feel farty, guys. So listen, I'm going to have to say, for me, a big old hell no. And oh no, damn it. So on the Instagrams, On Instagrams, 55% said hell yeah. 45% said hell no. Oh, man. And then on Facebook, 57% said hell yeah, and 43% said hell no. And once again, those are super close. So there's the people who wanted to feel farty, who they like to feel farty. And then there's the people, who just like to, feel nice and not have to wear a shirt by the pool in the summer. You know what I mean? There's that too. So what have we learned? So we learned that if a guy, has a female best friend, or a girl has a male best friend, it's red flag. They all probably drink craft beer together and feel farty together. And I'm just proud that if you said, hell no, that maybe you don't want to feel farty with them. And that's good. And that makes me feel good. If they did a multi-level marketing with selling Werthers originals, that's the only way I'd be in. I'll be honest with you guys. I'd be in. I'm out of here. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, for giving me the comments. You guys are freaking hilarious. You guys are killing me. I'm laughing just randomly at dumb shit all the time. I'm looking at my phone, just cracking up all the time. People are looking at me. What are you laughing at? It's always something. So seriously, thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I will see you guys all next week. I'm out of here. Later, Gators.